program for pharmaceutical sciences students with Dr. Vandita Gill, Dr. Vandita Kakkar. She is a faculty from our department, and she is also acting as a mentor for non-technical higher educational institutions. She has a certification from the Chandler Institute of Governance and Stanford Leadership Academy for Development, where they develop confident and critical thinkers through various case studies. And she is also ISAC certified cybercrime intervention officer. She has so many things in her cap, so many feathers to her cap, and she has several books, research projects, industrial consultancies, technical publications to her credit. And she's been participating as a chairperson, discussant, and presenter in several prestigious conferences. And she is a lifetime member of the Chandigarh Management Association, as well as an associate member of the Society for Capital Market Research and Development, New Delhi. She'll be talking today to us about business modeling. So that is something which I think we are technical people. We can talk about our invention, the novelty we can defend. We can defend like how it is going to help people, what is the research gap, and it is going to be society. But we don't know anything about, how to take it further, how to design the ventures. She's going to talk about designing the ventures that create, deliver, and capture value. So I'm sure it would be a great learning experience for all of us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and for being with us today. Hanji. You'll use the column mic or this mic only?
I think I'll have to,
This is a slide.
because I don't have a pocket to keep. A very good afternoon to all of you. I know after the afternoon good, delicious lunch, all of us have a bit of lag. So I hope I'm able to capture you, and there are some students who are sitting right at the back. If you don't mind coming a bit forward. Okay. So at the onset, I'm very grateful, Professor Indu. It's a great opportunity for me because as a faculty in business management, we are usually addressing our own students. And lately, there has been a lot of buzz around entrepreneurship and this particular topic, which is business modeling. I hope I'm able to make some dent in terms of, making you understand better. Okay, the students at the end, can you please come forward? So all of you are from sciences? All of you? Yes? Okay, fine. So I share one common passion with Professor Sanjay. I also have a great liking for stories. So most of my lecture would be in the form of, but these are real life cases which I'll be talking about. So it will be entertaining, I hope so. And please stop me wherever you feel you need to ask, because otherwise I'll stop. Fine? Okay? Anything you would like to clarify beforehand? Okay, fine. So as you can see, we are going to talk about business modeling today. And there are three catchwords which have been used over here, which is delivering ventures. That the first is create, the second is to deliver, and the third is to capture. And capture what? Capture value. Okay, how many of you have heard about Jaipur Foods? Yes? Can you tell me something about them? Yes, very good. Anything else about Jaipur Foods? Okay, so this is a great social innovation. As she has rightly said, can I have your name, please? Okay, Asha is absolutely right. In the early 1970s, they came up with this prosthetic, limbs. Okay, as if it was not available, it was available. It's what, but the West, when you actually went about buying them, it was very expensive. And this organization wanted to help, rural artisans, rural farmers, and naturally they could never afford something which was so expensive because they had to work in fields, they had to sit, they had to squat, and it was very difficult for them to go about doing that. So this organization, Jaipur Foot, came up with something durable but not at all expensive. And that is how they met the need. A fantastic idea, but do you know what was their business model? Anybody? Okay, they had donors because they were serving very poor people who could not even afford what they were manufacturing. So from the donors, they raised funds, and that is how they gave free of cost to, number of people who actually needed them, very badly. You can see over here, there's a school student to whom they are actually providing a prosthetic leg. So the point over here is, and a point of discussion today is that what is a business model? What was so unique about Jaipur Foot? Okay, naturally the entire notion of providing it free of cost, but it wouldn't have been possible, because they have to also meet their expenses. So what did they do? They went next level. They tried to connect with NGOs and with government organizations, and till date, they are providing this artificial limb. Okay, so you can see what we call nowadays about survival. Okay, so they survived over the years basically because they had the right business model. So setting the context over here, if you see over here, business modeling matters more than business plans. Now, over the years, we have been teaching our students, what is a business plan. Plan is to plan for the future. Okay, that means you have to forecast for a long period of time how things would be sometime in the future. But do you feel at present, when you see so many unprecedented changes, trade barriers, tariffs, okay, and disruption in the supply chains, do you think we are living in a normal world? Yes? Do you think we are living? Yes, the one who's in gray t-shirt, I'm very sorry, I can't see your. Yes, do you feel we are living in a normal world? We are not living in a normal world. We in management call this as a VUCA world. We are living in a VUCA world. Anybody can tell me what does V stands for? Okay, U, very good. Okay, C, complex. Okay, and A, ambiguity. Okay, so nothing is clear. So since we are staying in this VUCA world, nothing is normal. So therefore, the business plan will certainly not meet our, because it is a static. Static means you have to prepare for it, once, and then, if the world changes, then you have to redo it once more. But then we have a dynamic business model which we are going to see. So from idea, if you see on the right-hand side, there's a funnel. So all of us start with an idea. I was listening all this time. You had so many ideas, so many of you shared as to what is your idea. So idea is a spark. But for that spark to be scaled, you have to go through model building. You have to build it into a model. You have to test and validate your idea, and finally you will be able to scale your idea. So you have to go, all of you will have to go through this funnel, okay, if you want to come out with any particular output. So reducing uncertainty and improving success rates is very important to go through this funnel. And this is what we are basically going to do today. So I'm going to answer all these questions, okay, what, which, how, when, and what can we learn, from the case study. So we are going to do this so that we better understand what is a business model. So let us come to the definition of a business model. The title of my talk in itself, the three keywords, what were those three keywords? Create, no, deliver, and capture. So if you see this definition, those three words are there. Creates, delivers, and captures value. So let me talk about these two authors, Osterwalder and Pignuer. Osterwalder, in his thesis, came up with this concept of business modeling. And what we are going to primarily do today, he partnered with Pignuer later on to come up with a fantastic structured business model. So business modeling describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. Now, as you can see, there are three circles and they are overlapping circles over here. So one is what we call as a business idea. It's your vision. It's that spark which we had talked about. The second is a business plan, which we had said it is a strategy, okay, but it's static. And the third is a business model, which is a system. So you can see the overlapping of the green, the blue, and the yellow. And your sustainable venture is this particular overlap. Okay, so you can create a sustainable venture only when there is an overlap of your business plan, your business idea, and your business model. So now we are going to go over to the business model. So there are various frameworks of doing the business modeling. Okay, why do you feel we need a framework? Anybody? Why can't we do without a framework? Yes? Very good. Very good. That's very good. Yes. Somebody else from that side at the back? You know, I'm always attracted to the backseaters somehow. So that is why I gave you an option to come forward. Otherwise, I'll keep on asking you questions. Yes, the one and sorry, again, a blue t-shirt. Yes. Why do you feel we need a framework? Why can't we do without a framework? Okay, so you are using your terminology, fine, you need a prototype. Because see, that will exactly provide what are the nitty-gritties and how do you go about doing it. Okay, so we are going to talk about various building blocks now. So there are three models, as you can see over here. There is a business model canvas, which is basically meant for mature ventures, and it captures all these three dimensions which we have talked about, that is create, deliver, and capture. The second one which you see is a lean canvas. Okay, this is specifically meant for the beginning startups. Okay, so it's not meant for the ones who have already, stabilized or for other ventures, but this was given by Moria, and it's meant for startup focused ventures, but at the very beginning stage. The last one which you can see is called as a value proposition canvas. This is a fit between a customer and solution. So the purpose of all the three models are different, and I have already told you. So what is the difference? Anybody? What is the difference between all these three models? Yes? The first one is meant for mature enterprises. Okay, yes. The second one, which is given by Ash Maurya, okay, which is called as a lean canvas, because what is applicable for mature ventures is not applicable for initial, startups. So this is specifically meant because more risk and more certainty is with the mature enterprise or with the one who has just started. Yes, so this canvas had to be different. And the last one is basically for when you are customer centric. That means you want a solution keeping in mind your customer. So that is called as a value proposition canvas. So my major focus today will be on the business model canvas. This is the most important aspect any entrepreneur should be knowing about. Naturally, we teach this even in our MBA classes. So as you can see, you'll have to follow this very closely with me. Okay, so you can see there are 9 blocks over here. Can you count and tell me, anybody? Are there 9 blocks over here? Yes. Okay, there are 9 blocks. Okay, so you can see certain blocks which have been colored in, yellowish gold. You can see some in blue and you can see others in green. Okay, so I'm going to go one by one. Okay, yeah, I would just like to be close to. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I would like to go close because I can't use pointer. It doesn't work on this screen. Okay, so I want you to see, because I wanted to point it out. There are 3 aspects which we have written over here. Can you see this? Desirability, viability, and feasibility. And overall, there's a 4th one which is called as adaptability. So I'm going to start with desirability, okay, first. Okay, so for any you know, innovator, okay, any innovator. So the first question which he or she should be asking, okay, now what is the background for this? Vandita, I know very well, Professor Manu Sharma keeps on telling us time and again that there are so many patents with us, and we should be able to convert it into a product or a process. Now, why isn't that happening? Why do you feel we think about such a brilliant idea on which we are able to get a patent, but we are not able to convert? Why do you feel? What is lagging there? Huh? Yes? Okay. So you're picking up my word, desirability of that product. Yes? Anybody else? Driving force? Yes? Okay, market. Okay. You should ask a very pertinent question over here: from whom have we made whatever we have made? Okay, so who's that? Okay, okay, ideal customer. Okay, we are coming very close. Okay, so we are doing it for customer, client, whatever you might actually. So have you ever asked your customer what does he or she desire? Have you ever asked that? Yes? When have you asked it? This is the first question any innovator should ask. What does a customer require? Okay, so this is the most important. So the desirability comes first. Okay, the second thing is viability. Okay, whatever our customer desire, what would be the worth of it? Okay, what is the worth of whatever our customer? Because if you have a brilliant idea and you have actually gone in for a customer survey and you have found that idea is brilliant, okay, the customer, there's actually need for that product or a process. So the next question is, how much will I have to put in terms of my resources? What will be the cost? Okay, how much revenue I will be telling you these terms. Okay, so what would be the worth of it is the second most important question. The third thing which is very important is the feasibility. Do I have the necessary resources? Okay, do what kind of activities will I have to do to convert what my customer demands into a product or a process? Okay, so these 3 things are very important: desirability, viability, and feasibility. Let us come to the last one. So you can see I put in various icons over here. Adaptability. Mind you, when I was explaining the business plan, I used the word static. What does static means? Stagnant. It's not, and the environment is not stagnant. It's very dynamic. So look at the forces of the market. Okay, so it is your, there can be industry requirements, there can be change in the market itself. Your customer required that product 1 year, last year, but When you went again, he or she says, I don't want, I have something which is already available. So I don't think so I need a product. Okay, then your industry trends. Okay, what are the trends which are making a difference? And last is the most important nowadays. Okay, macroeconomic factors. In the morning I read a news article, it came in the Mint, and it said, whatever I use the terminology, unprecedented change in the economic environment, look at the rate of inflation, look at, hardening of, cross borders. That means there's so many tariffs now, and there's disruption in the supply chain. Okay, these are all your macroeconomic environmental factors which affect all businesses. Okay, it's not as if the HUL is not affected or Dr. Reddy's is not affected. Even big companies which are multinational companies which are established are, affected by all these. So you can very well imagine you want to convert an idea into a startup, how that is going to be affected. So I'm going to take up one of these, one by one, all these blocks. So the first one, as I've already told you, is so very important, is your customer segment. Okay, the customer segment is very important. Okay, so why do you feel I'm not talking about customer and I'm talking about customer segments? Huh? Why do you feel so? Why segments? Why I'm talking about segments? Can we segmentize our customers? Yes, yes. Okay, any particular segment which you can tell me? Okay, okay. आपकी terminology, fine.
What if I say my customer मैंने टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर करनी है किसी को, तो मेरा कस्टमर इंडस्ट्री होगा कि मुझे वहाँ पे एंड यूजर जो जो पेशेंट है उसको कस्टमर मानना चाहिए?
नहीं आप नहीं, that industry is a conduit to the customer. So you have to see who will be your ultimate customer. Huh. Who's your ultimate customer? Okay, all of you have seen Maruti cars? Okay, can you tell me a few? Okay, few brands, few. Alto. Huh? Yes. Baleno. Okay, fine. Any sedan? Any sedan? Okay, all your Nexa cars, are in your luxury. So we have talked about an entry level Alto. We have talked about the middle level, which is Baleno, and we have also talked about the luxury level, which is a sedan. So can you see Maruti has 3 segments within their car manufacturing? So you can have n number of segments in terms of, for example, if you go across the world with the same particular food brand, any food brand, and you go anywhere in the world, you find, you can actually have, name any food brand. Okay, McDonald's. Do you think, okay, Domino's, okay, do you feel you will get the same tikki burger if you go to, New York? So you can even have geographic segments, okay, in terms of what does your customer like in North, what does your customer like in South. So within the same country there can be various segments. So for you it is very important which particular customer segment you want to target. Do you want to target one? Do you want to target two? Or do you want to target more than that? Okay, so for whom are we creating value? So which is your customer segment for which you are creating value? Who are our most important customer? So if I'm, catering to only the entry level, for me that would be my most important, there are some luxury car brands. Any luxury car brand? Huh? Okay. Now, they are not catering to the entry level car users who's hopping from a scooter or who's hopping from a mobike to, car. So, that is very important for you to understand that who is your customer segment. Okay, the customer segment is very, very important. The second one, which is very important, which comes first, okay, can you see the icon within the value proposition? What do you find? It's a gift box. Okay? So, since your customer is the most important aspect of the building block, you need to know why should customers choose us over our competitors. So, what is my unique selling proposition? How I am different from my competitor? Why will customer come to me and not go to somebody who's already doing the same work? So that is what we call as value proposition. So value proposition can be quantified, okay? It can that means it can be quantitative or it can even be qualitative. For say, your quality, what your competitor is providing, you provide a better quality product. Okay, that will be your value proposition. In case of quantitative, it can be, since say you are manufacturing on large scale, you're providing the same product at a lower cost. Okay, so your value proposition, you have to be very clear, why should somebody come and pick up your product over other products which are of a similar nature. Okay, so the third one which we are going to take up is channels. I have already spoken about this, supply channels. So you can see there is a kind of a delivery truck. And if you see the video you must go and check up at YouTube, you'll find that, that delivery truck actually is going, okay, taking the value proposition and going to the customer. Okay, so that means you have to link with your customer, whether it is in the form of communication. अगर आप बताओगे ही नहीं कि आप कैसे हो, आपकी क्या qualities हैं, so customer को कैसे पता लगेगा? So it includes communication and it also includes delivery. How can we, differentiate in terms of delivery? What is happening nowadays in terms of delivery? So it's reaching your doorsteps. How does your customer want that the product should be delivered to you? There are some of us, who like the shopping experience and would still like to go in a offline store to experience the product. Okay, so that is also something different. So through which channels do our customer segments want to be reached? Okay, so if they want an online, you cannot give them an offline. They will not accept your product. Okay, how are we reaching them now? Okay, so then based on the customer requirement, how do you reach? Okay, the fourth very important is your customer relationship. So you can see the heart there. Okay, so if I like your product, okay, I will be your repeat customer. Okay, tomorrow you might come up with a high end of the same product. Since I trust your earlier product, I can very well pick up your high end product too. So therefore you will find most of the chains coming up with the entry level product and then going over, scaling the costs, because they know once you create confidence in terms of your relationship with the customer, then the customer trusts you and will also, readily pick up your other products. So what type of relationship should we establish with each customer? Mind you, it's not customer segment. So you cannot have the same level of relationship with all your customer segments. Okay, it will naturally differentiate. Now I'll come to what is called as the foundation. I hope everybody understand what is a foundation. Okay, your building is on a foundation. And the foundation is something what I've been teaching all my life. Okay, and so we are using two terminologies over here. One is called as a revenue on my right and cost structure on my left. So anybody understands what is a revenue and what is cost? Revenue is the price tag on your product. Okay, what is the selling price? So if my product, the price tag is rupees 100 and I sell 100 items. So what will be my total revenue? 100 into 100? Okay, 10,000. So have you got what is the revenue? Okay, now to manufacture that one particular item, okay, okay, so I am pricing it at 100, but it's costing me 50 rupees. So what is my cost? Cost is all my expenses which have gone into manufacturing that one single product. So what is my margin over here? Okay, so I hope you have understood. Revenue minus cost will give me my profits. Okay, and then there is no company in the world which is manufacturing at a loss. Okay, you can have your margins, the 50 rupees is, we call it as a margin. Okay, wafer thin, okay, it can be that it costs me 90 rupees and I'm selling it at 100. When I am, there's a lot of competition, I might even do that. I will keep my margins wafer thin. Okay, so that's very important. So revenue is very important. What value are customers willing to pay for, and how do we, okay, earn revenue from it? Okay, so I hope you have heard about economies of scale. Okay, somebody just mentioned about pizza, not the pizza, but the burger, McDonald's burger. Okay, what is the difference between, McDonald's burger and, say, a Burger King's burger? Hmm? Yes. Like, okay, fine. Other than that, huh? Taste. Okay. Who said price? Okay, who said price? What is the difference in price? What is the difference in price? Huh? Okay, brand perception is okay, but the pricing is the strategy which they are basically using. So I'm already given you a clue. So what is the strategy you believe, they are following by keeping the price of the burger low? Huh? Okay, they are targeting large numbers. We call that as economies of scale. They have kept the price of the burger. Naturally, you don't find that many, condiments and vegetables and all, greeny, leafy vegetable in their burger. Okay, so what they are targeting is to price it low so that the sales are more. Okay, so they are targeting a particular segment who is not ready to dish out that much of money to actually go about buying a burger, but they have created what we call as volumes. Volumes means they're selling more in terms of number than probably any other big chain wherein you find it expensive. So this is very important. So what value our customers are willing to pay? If my customer is not willing to pay me more, you come up with the product, your product will not sell. So I have to cater to what somebody is willing to pay for my product. And cost, as I've already explained, okay, cost structure. What are the most important costs in our business model and which resources and activities drive them? Okay, so I have to determine that in that product which I'm selling for 100 rupees, my 50 rupees costs, okay, what goes into my cost. And for that, what is very important is the ones which are there in blue. So you can see in blue we have the key resources, key activities and key partnerships. So what key resources do we need to create, deliver and capture value? Okay, in management we talk about 5 M's. Okay, can anybody guess what are those M? That means the first alphabet is M. Okay, I'll give you a hint. The first is money. No, the world moves because there's money. Otherwise, nobody is going to do anything about it. Money, okay. Machine, very good. Manpower, third, very good. Very good. The fourth is material. And the fifth is the method. Good. Okay. Very intelligent crowd. Okay, so that is what we require to, and what are the key activities? Okay, what key activities must we perform to deliver our value proposition and make the business model work? So what do I need to do, okay, in terms of, see, I need not do the, say, if I want to manufacture, I might not manufacture everything. So what will I do? I will outsource, say, components. Okay, everybody knows a nano car. Okay, so what is so unique about nano car? Small car. Okay, the price is, okay, it was meant for the lowest of the lowest level. It was said, Mr. Ratan Tata, he was attending an auto expo in Europe where he said, I'm going to come up with a 1 lakh car. Okay, and his entire team in India was aghast by the fact 1 lakh car, how we are ever going to do that. Can you imagine how they would have, worked out on their cost? Because they know the price tag has come in as 1 lakh. So now you have to work backwards. कि मेरी उसमें क्या cost होगी, और cost 1 लाख से तो कम ही होनी चाहिए ना. So anybody read something, how did they work out on the cost? Yes. Okay, it was supposed to be a small car.
Yeah, but usually they would have four cylinders. They shifted to a two cylinder also.
Okay, a bit louder. They
Reduce the number of cylinders to reduce the cost of the engine.
okay,
Then
fine.
they shifted the engine towards the back to reduce the size and the cost of the metal.
Okay.
The boot was actually shifted to the front
Hmm.
to use that engine bay space and convert it into the boot.
Okay.
So engine was shifted at the back of the seats and then the air vents were added to the sides.
Hmm.
So that is how they reduce the size of the car and the engine cost.
Okay, so the car was supposed to be small, never a big car. Okay, they worked on the engine. Anybody else? Okay, all the suppliers of the components of that particular car were located next to the plant. Why next to the plant? The transportation, okay, they have something called as just in time. Just in time means they did not have a warehouse to keep the supplies. There, wherein the manufacturing plant, okay, the components came directly to the shop floor and it was being used from there. So they reduced their transportation costs, they even reduced their warehouse cost. And that is why they were able to manufacture, work backwards, and come up with a car which was naturally could not meet the customers' satisfaction. Okay, it was never, customers were never asked, do you need nano? Okay, so it was his idea of doing it. And lastly, we are going to talk about key partnership. I just talked about component suppliers. Okay, so you need to partner and you need to have suppliers because you might not be doing the product 100% yourself. Even in terms of if you're providing for service, you might not be doing 100%. So you have to have a congenial relationship with your partners, with your suppliers. So this is how we talk about the 9 building blocks. Okay, so I'm going to take up a very interesting case. I think everybody knows what is Zomato. What is it? Okay, okay, ordering, online and delivery. Okay, so I've done this for Zomato. Okay, so we are going to go in the same direction. We're going to start with the customer segments. Two very important customer segments. Customers, consumers, and your restaurant. Okay, what is the value proposition? It's different for consumers and it is different for restaurant. Okay, for consumers it is convenience, personalization, real-time order, tracking, variety and affordability. Okay, for restaurant it is enhanced visibility, advertising and promotions, analytics and support. Okay, if we go to the channels, what channels they are using? You're using your mobile apps, okay? And similarly, they even have their website. And what is a customer relationship? User engagement and customer support. Let us come up to their revenue streams. Okay, food delivery and table reservation commissions they get, okay? They also get delivery fees. They get for advertising and promotions. Come to their cost, okay? Whatever are their costs in terms of generating the revenue, delivery costs, technology and infrastructure development. Come to the key resources. They have a digital platform, and whatever they have in terms of their brand and their reputation. Come to the key activities, restaurant discovery and food delivery. And the last one, who are their key partners? The restaurant partners, the food delivery services, and the payment gateway providers. I hope it is clear what is a business model canvas to everybody. Yes, anybody, if somebody has doubt, please ask. Okay. So this is, as I had told you right at the very beginning, you can see this is a framework. Okay, but what is so unique about this framework is it's very dynamic in nature. Okay, suppose any one particular aspect changes, you can accordingly rework the entire, the blocks. So as this is just a repetition of what I told you earlier, okay, you should not come with an idea that you had one big idea. It should you start with some customer problem, some customer challenge, which is being faced, and you are trying to give a solution to that problem or to that challenge. Make the value proposition clear and compelling. That gift box, it should be really compelling, Your customer doesn't want to go to anybody else, but wants to come to you. Align resources, activities, and partners. The blue blocks which I had just shown you. Okay, those are very important. And make assumptions visible so they can be tested. Okay, how many of you are researchers, research scholars? Okay, so what is hypothesis? Okay, what do you plan to do? Anybody else with any other answer? What is hypothesis? Assumptions. Okay, so how do you prove the hypothesis? You actually go about doing research. So either your hypothesis is validated or it is not. Similarly, similar theme is even here. You have set of assumptions. Your environment is volatile. The assumptions will keep on changing, and accordingly you will keep on gearing your business model. So this is very, very important. Okay, so as I've told you, hypothesis. So the first thing which you have to do is to test and validate your hypothesis. So how will you do it? Okay, so you will go to your customer. Okay, I will go to my customer. मैं उसको पूछूंगी कि ये product आप खरीदोगे? Okay, मैं किसी customer के पास जाऊँ तो मुझे बोलेगा हाँ शायद. Okay, there will be very few who will say no. So that is not a customer survey. You will say, okay, this is the product. What do you feel is the challenge you face in using this product? Or if you are using this and I come up with this solution, do you feel you are going to buy my product? Okay, so this is how, a number of companies or startups actually did. They found that the customer, when they interviewed the customer, for example, they said they are not ready to pay directly for an app, but they don't mind a freemium. What is freemium? Your generation is very good at this, okay? And the subscription model. So that is how every, good, like even your, chat GPT gives you something for free, but then if you want to go to the next, okay, chat GPT, go, and then pro. So this is how, this is all based on your customer survey. Okay, the second is minimum viable product. Somebody said prototype right at the very beginning when I was asking a question. Who said that, prototype? Okay, what does prototype mean? No, but what it is, okay, it's a small scale version of what you are actually going about doing. Okay, do you know there's a company name by the name of Dropbox? What is it? So what they did was they had this beautiful idea, and do you think they actually went about doing coding first? No, they created a small video and they circulated amongst a number of users of other things, that means they're customers, and they asked, if we come up with a similar product, will you actually go about buying? And can you guess how many of them actually said yes at the first go? Any number. ठीक होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Okay, let's relax. कितने? फिर भी मैं नंबर पूछ रही हूँ आपसे. What is the number? You give me a number. Okay? Professor Sanjay was saying one word, one word, one word, and you gave him so many words. Okay, I'm asking for a number. Anybody? Come on quickly. Okay, anybody else? 100? 70,000. 70,000 of them said yes, we would actually go for it. And that is how, after that, they actually started coding. Okay, so this is very, very important. That means you don't have to, take a dive before you test the ground. That is very, very important. Okay, pilot programs, you can even go about piloting. This is very, popular in pharmaceutical, that you come up with something and you do it over a small geographical area, and then you go about doing it pan-India. Okay, so that is called Hanji. Okay, yes, right. And the last is A versus B testing. I'll give you from your, okay, I tried a lot to get something from pharmaceutical industry. Okay, you want to come up with an app for diabetic patient for diabetes management. Okay, so this app is going to give them a kind of an alert, or what we nicely call in management a nudge. A nudge that this is the time you have to take a medicine. Okay, the A gives a alert that you have to take a medicine, now it's time to take your medicine. The second one, the B, gives a message but also sends you a motivational, some small little thing. Which one would you feel is going to be better? So this is called as your A-B testing. You can come up with permutations and see which permutation actually works better than something else. So the entire testing and validation, okay, we start with assumption, we test, we learn from our, whatever our customers are saying, we refine our model, and then we scale, and we don't stop there. It's an iterative process. Why? The environment is going to change. अगर आप सोचते मैंने एक बारी बना लिया बस मेरा तो काम ही हो गया, तो you just forget about it. You'll have to keep on tweaking it time and again if you want to be relevant. Okay, so that's very important for you. You have to be relevant. Okay, the next is to pivot and innovate. Okay, so pivot basically means over here that it's not necessary as to what you were doing, you continue in the same, in behavioral finance we say, okay, when we plan for the future, we always plan that the road is very smooth. But actually it is full of pits, there's a hill you have to climb, and there are so many hurdles before you actually go about, actually achieving your destination. So you'll have to keep on pivoting, okay, time and again, and then naturally innovating. In terms of, Netflix is a very good example of how it pivoted. It started with DVD rentals, it went into streaming, and then it, came up with original. Okay, I think everybody knows House of Cards. Okay, so this is how it kept on pivoting from one to another to be relevant. Okay, so other than that, there's very common pivots in terms of customer segment. Okay, all of you know what is YouTube? What is it? Okay, it started with a dating video platform. It was just meant for dating, and you can see how it has evolved over a period of time. Okay, value capture, Adobe. It has also, in terms of the value which it is giving, it has evolved over a period of time vis-a-vis from where it started to where it is right now. Similarly is your channel. Okay, all of you know Pfizer and Moderna. What happened during COVID times? They came over to digital channels. because they had to collaborate with various governments and various, associations. And the last one, which is my favorite, which is identity, I have kept a full slide on that. Okay, everybody knows what is Meta? What was its earlier name? Okay. What was there in Facebook? What was it all about in Facebook? Huh? Okay. Now it felt that it wants to go in for virtual reality and augmented reality, and it thought that Facebook name does not actually go about suits it. So what did it do? If you see this matrix over here, this is how they started. Okay, it was a startup. They scaled up the Facebook. Okay, they secured their model. Okay, and then they felt that they want to be more. They found that they want to work in metaverse, and this Facebook somehow did not fit into what they actually wanted to do. So I'm just going to show the quote of their chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg. He said, "Right now, our brand is so tightly linked to one product that it can't possibly represent everything we are doing today, let alone in the future." And that is how they thought of changing their name. Okay, Facebook was well established. It had its own brand value, but they thought it will not represent what they actually want to do. Okay, the next step is scaling and sustaining models. Okay, for most resilient ventures, you need both. Okay, you have to be master of both. So scaling means replication. Okay, so you can scale your path in terms of Apple. Apple started with iPod, iPhone, iPad. Okay, so that is called as product scaling. Similarly for OYO rooms. Okay, what was so unique? They started in India, they went to Southeast, they went to Europe, they went in to a number of places. Okay, partnership, what is Spotify into? Okay, they entered into partnership with various telecom service providers. So this is how they actually went out about scaling. Then we come over to sustaining, okay, sustaining pathways, product and service renewal. I have written Dr. Reddy's. Okay, do you know what was Dr. Reddy earlier doing and what it is doing now? Has there been any change in terms of their pathways? Okay, it was in generics earlier. What is it doing now? It's providing even over-the-counter medication. Okay, besides other things. Then we come over to technology renewal, AWS. What is the full form of AWS? Okay, it started with customer service. Now it has an independent platform. And the last is market and customer renewal. Okay, Amul started as a simple cooperative wherein it collected milk and distributed, naturally, worked on it and distributed. Now, have you ever seen their, the different products which they are, coming out with? Yes, what are the different products? Frozen foods, chocolates, okay, naturally, all dairy possible products, so they are coming. So this is how, you can sustain by keep on reinventing, okay, that is reinvention or reinventing. So very quickly, I'll take 3 case studies, and all of them are different in terms of their nature. So the first one which I'm taking is of Reliance Jio, which went into a vertically integrated innovation. So you can see a number of aspects of the business model which we had discussed being talked about in the bullets. Okay, the first is customer segments, over 400 million telecom subscribers across India. Value proposition, affordable, okay, affordable, okay, that was their value, the gift, okay. Reliable 4G internet and digital services. Innovation, Jio didn't just provide telecom connectivity, it built the entire vertically integrated ecosystem. Right from the scratch till the end, it provided all the services and products. The revenue model was mobile subscription, broadband, bundled services, and cross-selling digital platforms. So what is the lesson we learn from the case of Jio? Geo shows that control over the entire value chain can disrupt an industry and redefine customer expectations. So they worked across the entire value chain, okay? Right from the initiation till the end, they worked on the entire value chain. So this is how they created their own business model. The second one which I'm going to talk about is Unacademy. What is this about?
platform, virtual teaching platform.
Okay, for what?
So coaching exams.
Okay. So the customer segments were students preparing for competitive exams in India. This is how they started. Value proposition, affordable access to top educators, flexible digital learning. The innovation was freemium. Okay, so it's the combination of which two words? Subscription built traction on YouTube before pivoting to paid app. The first time they started simply on YouTube. They hooked their clients and then they went over to a paid app. Revenue model, monthly, annual subscription. And the lesson is in digital ventures, build users first, monetize later. What does it mean? It is a very important message. Yes, anybody? What does it mean? Hanji, yes. Okay, gain trust. So, mind you, your customers come first over here, users. Okay, so you have to gain trust. Okay, then only they are going to go, along with you. So that is why you find in the case of a number of startups, you must have heard about J-curve effect in startup. Okay, no? So I made a very simple for you to understand. Can you see the J over here? Okay. So what does it mean? I've already written there on the whiteboard. Okay. So you see the dip. So you have to keep on feeding. तो इसलिए पहले मुफ्त में ही काम चलाना पड़ेगा. You have to hook the customer and then you have to start charging. Okay, so therefore this is called as a J-curve effect. We call this as a J-curve effect. Yes? Somebody said something. So this is very important for you to understand that if you believe that you're going to start making it is a money machine day one, it's not going to be a money machine day one. It will take time for you to stabilize, win the customer confidence, and then go about, actually making money. Okay, I think I deliberately picked up Cipla India over here. Okay, affordable pharma. Customer segments patient in India and developing countries as well as governments. Value proposition, affordable, essential medicines at scale. Innovation, they slashed their HIV AIDS drug prices from $12,000 to just $350 a year around at the beginning of 2000. So that is how they made it affordable. Okay, revenue model, the same as your burger. Which burger? Okay, so I told you, okay, I'm going to make it very easy for you. Okay, now tell me what is this? So this is just a magic number. जितना बेचोगे, ओके, अगर आपका मार्जिन कम भी है, फिर भी आपकी रिकवरी अच्छी होती रहेगी. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट दे डिड. हाई वॉल्यूम, लो कॉस्ट जेनरिक्स एंड APIs. Okay, key partnerships, naturally WHO, NGOs and governments to access programs. And lesson is simpler proves that affordability can be a winning business model, profitable and socially impactful. Okay, so it's not only profitable, it's socially impactful. Okay, so until and unless you're not looking around, and what can we collectively use for this? One single word. I've already used it repeatedly on my slides. One single word for this business model. Yes, anybody? Yes, at the end. Yes? Sustainable business model. Okay, आज का ये जितने भी मॉडल हैं, अगर सस्टेनेबल नहीं हैं, तो you can't go very far. Okay? So I'm just wrapping up. What are the lessons from business model? Okay, there's no universal model. We have talked about n number of companies. I've shown you 3 particular case studies. Okay, so if you feel, okay, there is a framework, fine, but there's no one particular model. Okay, you can tweak any of those 9 building blocks at any particular time. And you don't have to pick up one. You can tweak more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's no unique solution. Okay, so you have to come up with your own unique solutions. So this is the first, lesson. Okay, you have to adapt. Okay, so because we have said create, deliver and adapt. Okay, balance value creation, delivery and capture. Iteration matters more than perfection. Okay, we have seen that cycle. You keep on, you don't have to be perfect. Okay, you cannot be perfect. Okay, if I say I know all, it's not so. There will be a new model which will come and it will, challenge that I have to, study more and teach something new to my students. So this is very important. Stakeholder alignment ensures sustainability. Now this is one big question which I'm going to ask to you. In all these cases, who are our stakeholders and who is the stakeholder? Okay, stakeholders and the stakeholder. Okay, so I would like you to answer this. Who are our stakeholders? Okay, so can one person volunteer from here? Okay, so can you keep on writing what the audience is saying? Stakeholders. Okay, so can we start here? Yes, please start. Hanji. Customers, okay, fine, customers. We have used so many while I was telling you the cases. Huh?
Government organization,
Government,
investors,
investors,
NGOs,
just let him write. Okay, okay, NGOs, they are saying, okay, we have poor, ओके, NGOs हो गए, इन्वेस्टर्स हो गए, गवर्नमेंट हो गया, कस्टमर हो गया, और हाँ, फाउंडर्स, ओके, फाउंडर्स, other organizations, competitors, let us write competitors. Okay, anybody else? Any other stakeholder? That's it? Good? Are we good with these? You wanted to say something?
The company CEO, CCO,
Okay, founders oblique, MDs oblique, CEOs. Okay, fine. Okay. So, who is the Most important stakeholder? Huh? Customer. Even your shareholder or your investor is a customer. Okay, so thank you. Thank you. What is your name? Adarsh. Thank you, Adarsh. So these are the, you have to be continuously evolving, okay, in terms of your business model. As I've already told you, we can't be static, we have to evolve. It has to be structured. We know there are 9 building blocks. Okay, naturally I've told you when this business model canvas is suitable to which kind of firms, for mature firms. Now tomorrow, for example, if you want to again say, call me for a startup oriented lecture for the same, I will not take the business model canvas. I will move to lean business model. Okay, so that is the difference. But there is certainly a framework which we are basically using over here. Evolving, adapt to customer needs and environment continuously. So the final thought is an idea can set the direction, but it is the business model that ensures the destination. Okay, I take you back to Jaipur Fort once again. Okay, they had a lovely idea in terms of they wanted to, serve the poor with a cheaper but a durable, prosthetics. And they were able to do it because they had the right business model. They tapped the founders, okay, who were able to donate, and that is how they were able to provide, rural people, the foot without charging them anything. So for any successful company, it's very important, okay, for any idea, for any venture, it is very important that you should know your business model well and you are able to tweak it at the right time. Okay, thank you all. I'm open to questions. Questions, these are the key references. The references, I'm leaving my PPT over here. So you can tap, as you can see over here, we have the same authors a number of times who came up with the business modeling and business model. And any questions, I'll be very glad to answer. Related, unrelated, it's absolutely okay. Yes, yes.
Ma'am, in this J model, how would we know that till which time we have to feed our product?
In which model?
In this J model, you have told.
It's a J curve. Okay.
Yeah.
You're asking about the J curve effect. J curve effect is basically based on research. What they have found is for any new startup, okay, the journey is not in the profit domain. So how the journey actually starts, okay, you put in money, whether it's your own, okay. Okay, so we talk about 3 F's over here: family, friends, and fools. Fools means those people who trust you with the idea. So you start with this. Naturally, there are various funding sources. But the first thing is you will always be below this line, that is your losses, Adarsh. Okay, so what does it basically tell you? You have to have deep pockets to tide over this so that eventually you can make profits. So we in finance teach, Agrim would know and agree with me, something what we call a survivorship bias. Okay, survivorship bias basically means when you see this, main, say, IT firms, can you tell me few names of IT companies? Okay, okay. Okay, worldwide. Yes. Okay. So what you see are those people who have actually survived. There would have been hundreds of Microsofts, hundreds of Infosys. Okay? At the same time, they would have also tried, but they did not succeed and they failed. So the ones which you see now and you say there's such a, this is very aspirational and this is a company wherein I would like to work, are the ones who have survived. And this is called a survivorship bias, because you are seeing only the ones who are surviving. You are missing on all those who have died in the process. Died means their business has died in the process and they were not able to make it. Okay, so that's the whole idea. Okay, so that basically means it's very nice to talk about entrepreneurship, about startups. Okay, but it's very important to show the death valley. We call it as death valley in management. Okay, any other question, please?
Ma'am, you mentioned about Jaipur food and what it does, but how would that imply to the business modeling we have discussed just now?
It really, applies. The business model is very important. Now, when they came up with this idea that because they actually saw people in, rural areas who could not afford to have, prosthetics. And since it was so very expensive at that, I'm talking about early 1970s. Okay, so they came up with the idea, but the basic challenge is those people were so poor they could not even afford the one which they were manufacturing. So they identified the customer segment, very poor. Okay, what was the value proposition? The value proposition is that they are going to provide them with whatever they will require according to their requirement. It's not as if, my requirement, I hope you understand, in terms of prosthetics, it's individual specific. My leg, if they're preparing it for me, will not be the same as for you. Okay, so they have to have a value proposition. They're going to provide it free of cost. See, the benefit is that they're tiding their cost. They are meeting their cost. They identify donors who were ready to donate, so they could provide it to poor people. So that is how they worked out. Till day they are working and they're providing. Everybody knows throughout Pan India, if you need something which is durable and cheap, you have to go to Jaipur Foot. The fact that they are sustainable model is basically because of that. Okay, anybody else? Yes, there? Do you have any question? Anybody else has a question? You ready with your bags? I'm not the last. I have my student who's going to speak after this. Yes. Fine? Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It was a lovely audience.